Hallo Leute und willkommen zurück in einer weiteren Folge Genshin Impact. Ja, wir hatten die letzte Folge aufgehört, also nicht an derselben Stelle, aber wir hatten das mit der Story durch und jetzt machen wir natürlich diese Quest natürlich weiter, und zwar die hier, die wir leider abbrechen mussten beim letzten Mal, bei 5.2 am Ende. Jetzt können wir auf jeden Fall bei 5.3 es vollenden, die Mission. Ja, und dann haben wir das auf jeden Fall geschafft. Dann kommt auf jeden Fall Maurikas Legendenquest dran, ne? Wir müssen auf jeden Fall nach da. Das ist am besten porten wir uns hier hin, weil das ist am ersten dran, ne? Und legen wir mal direkt gleich los. Bin ich mal gespannt. So. Wir sind auf jeden Fall schon mal richtig. Irgendwo hier müssen wir auf jeden Fall hin. Na dann. Die Fatui.
Huh? What are the Fatui doing here? That's a little concerning. Let's go over there and see what they're up to. Also, how did they get this close to a tribal settlement? Huh. All the Fatui left in Natlan are probably the captain's subordinates. That basically makes them followers of one of Natlan's heroes. Still, once a Fatus, always a Fatus. Something seems off seeing them here. Let's go check it out.
Okay.
Ahem! What are you guys doing here?
Following orders. If you have a problem, take it up with our employer.
Hey, what's with the attitude? Can the Fatui even work for a private employer?
This is Grudok. I hired him to be my bodyguard in Natlan. As you can see, he's not the sociable type. I'm sorry for any offense. My original plan was to hire someone from the local tribes, but a priest recommended Grudok and his squad. I was told they were capable fighters and had the time to spare, so they fit the bill. It seems like the Fatui's reputation in Natlan is quite positive.
So that's what happened. Then you must be from Fontaine?
Precisely! Montluçon, at your service. I work in the publication business. And you two... Wait. You must be the traveler and her fairy companion.
Oh, you know us?
A golden-haired traveler with a floating companion. There's no mistake. Your exploits in Fontaine have all the makings of a best-selling series. I'd be a failure of a book merchant if I couldn't recognize you.
Wow, we're really famous at this point, traveler.
It's truly my lucky day. I know this is sudden, but I was actually looking for you two. You see, I have a favor to ask.
So, you chased us all the way to Natlan? That's a little creepy.
You'll be generously rewarded, I promise you.
Well, at least he got straight to the point. Should we hear what he has to say? All right, we'll hear your request.
You know the great shaman Sitlali, right? I need her help with something.
Yeah, but the chances of her helping a random stranger just because we asked? Yeah, see, Lolly really doesn't like dealing with strangers.
I heard about that from other members of her tribe. But they told me if one person could convince her, it would be the golden-haired traveler. If you manage it, I'll even double your pay.
Oh yeah, we should definitely get to the bottom of that first.
It's kind of a long story, and there's tribal history involved, so you should hear it from an expert. Alie, if you could.
Of course. I don't often have an eager audience for this kind of thing. Nice to meet you. The name's Alie. I'm a researcher from the Fontaine Research Institute. Unlike most researchers, I have a keen interest in ancient ruins. That's why I was invited to join Monsieur Montluçon's team. Have you heard of the legend of the great shaman Huitzilin? Yes, according to local records, she was a color mystic who lived over 200 years ago, and the most adept in her tribe at using that particular technique. Out of all of her exploits, her most celebrated is the Battle of Seven Colors. According to legend, the battle was triggered by an abyss invasion, one of the most brutal in Natlan's history, even from a greater historical perspective. Amazingly, Natlan was able to turn the tide despite being at an extreme disadvantage. The key to victory was none other than a color Huitzilin created on the battlefield. The color was extraordinary, illusory in appearance while also seeming to possess physical form. Legend has it that Huitzilin used the color to construct a magnificent maze on the battlefield and trap all the enemies inside. This allowed her allies to launch a counterattack and ultimately secure victory.
Anyway, that's the gist of it. We don't want to take up too much of your time. That story is the reason I came to Natlan. I often publish books about the history of other nations. They always end up faring well on the market. When I heard this story for the first time, I wanted to include it in my next collection, but historical records about Natlan aren't very detailed. We haven't been able to determine where the battle took place, or find any definitive evidence that it occurred at all. Even within the Masters of the Nightwind, people dispute the legitimacy of the story. Some believe it to be a myth. If that were the case, the story would not be fit for publication.
But if you're just including it in a story collection, why does it matter if it never happened?
Well, you see, the slogan for the collection is Restoring the Truth of History. Naturally, I need it to be factual. That's why I'm here. The Masters of the Nightwind are said to have a tradition of recording past events, so I wanted to consult their records. But I was refused access to the Obsidian Altar. Application after application, and all I received were a few ordinary woven scrolls with nothing to offer. Honestly, I'm just trying to promote their history, and they make such a fuss.
According to my research, their scrolls are considered sacred relics in addition to historical records. Naturally, outsiders are rarely granted access. Not to mention, the scrolls we did get to review actually contain a huge amount of information. I just need more time, and I could...
We've been over this, Alier. There's no need to waste time on those scrolls when we have a better way.
Lally, you mean?
Exactly. You're well aware, I'm sure, that Sitlali has been alive for more than 200 years. That means she lived during the era of the Battle of Seven Colors. If she agrees to be my consultant, then no other historical records are necessary.
Oh, that's what you want.
So, what do you say? I'll quadruple the pay if it helps sweeten the deal.
Well, it's not that we don't want to help you. Oh, right! The duty the chief gave us has a lot to do with Huitzilin. Who knows? The Battle of Seven Colors might lead us in the right direction. All right, we'll help you convince Sitlali. Just let us do the talking, okay?
Of course.
Alles klar, Leute. Dann auf zu Silali. Boah, wo bist du denn? Sag mir jetzt nicht, da ist dein Wohnort. Das ist ja übelst weit weg. Na, Halleluja.
Let's ride! Rev the engines!
Sie wohnt wirklich hier.
So, this is where the great shaman lives? A bit far from civilization, isn't it? I hope the person who pointed us in this direction wasn't mistaken.
For someone like Sitlali, it actually makes a lot of sense.
Is this graffiti her work too? I wonder if it's a cultural practice. If I could just copy it down,
We're here for a reason, Alier. As agreed, you two can do the talking, and we'll wait for you here.
Okay, we'll go knock on the door. Hopefully she's not hungover. Sitlawi? Are you there? We need your help with something! Oh, no response. Maybe she's not home. Oh, Granny Eatsley? Are you home?
Hey, kid! If you're here to challenge me, book an appointment first. Traveler!
Looks like we came at a bad time.
Are you still there? Just come in. We can talk inside.
Well, at least we didn't get turned away.
Die stehen da wirklich. Warte mal ganz kurz, Leute, von dem Trailer, von dem Vogel, der gemalt wurde. Ich sehe den nirgendwo. Oder ist die Farbe schon von dem verblasst? Scheinbar sehe ich den nirgendwo. Schade.
So this is where Sitlawi lives.
I didn't have time to fully clean up the place. Complain if you want. Menial housework means nothing to a great shaman like myself. Besides, in light novels, people who keep everything neat and tidy are always too boring to be the protagonists. Also, I'm not a hermit. I'm just above superficial rules of societal etiquette.
She sure does care a lot about what we think of her.
Oh, and that spell I used to transfer my senses to you? You're not still, experiencing the side effects, are you? It's my duty as a great shaman to check that kind of thing.
Oh, you mean when we could hear your thoughts? Nope. It's been so long, we don't have to worry about that anymore, right?
Then why do I hear the traveler's thoughts in my head?
What?
I can still hear you, you know. Don't bother. I'll find a way to fix it. First you hear my thoughts, now I'm hearing your thoughts. It was just a simple spell. I use it on you, and now it's on the fritz. Forget it. Just tell me why you're here.
Well, someone asked us to ask you to be their consultant. They have questions about the history of Natlan.
So they asked the hero of Natlan to put in a good word? Sounds like they know I don't usually trouble myself with other people's problems.
The pay is really good.
Doesn't matter. I'm busy.
She sure doesn't look busy. Paimon knew this wouldn't get us anywhere.
From you?
Yeah, we were given a sacred duty to help your tribe weave a special scroll.
Huh? So, you're the appointed ones this time?
We were surprised too! After all, we have no idea how to weave a scroll like that. But with Chef Biram's help, we were able to make some progress. We still haven't succeeded, but we learned that the key to weaving the scroll is a special kind of color. The historical event those men want to ask about also involves color. If you help them, you might end up helping us too.
Der Gesichtsausdruck.
She's giving us that face again. Did Paimon not explain things clearly?
I can't decide whether this twist is completely out of the blue or if it was foreshadowed all along.
Does that mean you won't help us?
I need to think about it.
Then there's still hope.
Hey, what's the holdup? Just give us an answer already.
You agreed to let us do the talking! Sweet Lolly!
Stand down, Grudok. As your employer, if I tell you to wait, then you wait.
Understood.
You're the great shaman who's been alive for centuries? But you're so... Apologies for the disturbance. Grudok is a recent hire, so difficult to restrain sometimes.
You're lucky you didn't force Sweet Lolly's hand.
Well, since you're here, how about a discussion?
Do you have any idea who I am? Did you think Granny Eatsley would be fooled by your little performance?
I
have no intention of speaking to you. Your recent hire interrupted me right as I was about to make an important decision. Pull a trick like that again, and I'll make your lives a living horror novel, except 10 times worse. That's all I came out here to say.
Whoa.
Traveler, we have a discussion to finish.
You live up to your name, Granny Itztli. I apologize for the offense. I'm just surprised the Battle of Seven Colors didn't pique your interest.
You're investigating the Battle of Seven Colors?
Ah, the Traveler didn't get to that part? Yes, I thought the Traveler could help me convince you. But, if I'm not mistaken, you have a personal interest in this matter, don't you? I heard that the great shaman Huitzilin was a friend of yours. You two must have been close. If I can resolve the controversy and prove the battle took place, I'll include it in my next collection. Then, all of Teyvat will learn the truth. With your support, your friend's heroic deeds will once again be known throughout the land. Inspiring, don't you think?
If this is really about that duty, then... fine. I'll help you.
I'm honored.
Save it. I agreed to help the Traveler, not you. You'll just have to leech what you can.
Well, at least she agreed to help.
Who are you calling heartless?
Not a problem. I always planned to work with the Traveler. So, did you directly experience any events of the battle? Do you have any idea where it took place? Can you think of any relics we could use to prove it?
Talk at me, why don't you? Fine. No, no, and no. I did live during the same era as her, but that doesn't mean we experienced the same events. I've lived a long time, but I'm not a walking encyclopedia. You decide the angle of your investigation, and I'll provide answers if I'm familiar with the subject.
All right. Even if you didn't witness the battle yourself, you still lived through that era. Your insights are very valuable. Alier, you had an idea about where to start, yes?
Oh, well, my plan was to consult the members of the tribe in charge of recording history.
Then, let's start there. Traveler, what do you say to officially working together? After all, it appears I can only get Miss Sitlali's help through you.
Alles klar. Dann nehmen wir uns erstmal ein Stück Kaffee, Leute. Ah, wunderbar. Kaffee immer wichtig. Aber ich muss zugeben, sie wohnt ja echt übelst weit weg. Hier wohnt sie also die ganze Zeit. Hier wohnt sie. Lol. Also ist es... Sagen wir mal so, es ist schon ein bisschen ein Stück weg hier auf jeden Fall. Ich finde aber nicht diese Maler von den Trailer, wo man sie gesehen hat mit dem kleinen Vogel, der gezeichnet wurde. Ich folge mal diesen Weg hier, mal gespannt, was passiert. Okay. Das wollte ich jetzt nicht, aber jetzt hatte ich mich scheinbar. Ich brenne. Alles klar. Gut, das wollten wir eigentlich jetzt nicht machen. Ich wollte es eigentlich jetzt nicht fighten, aber gut. Weg da. Ich muss sowieso noch für Mowaki noch, Mowaki sage ich schon. Gott, was ist das für ein Name? Für unsere Feuergötter auf jeden Fall noch die Artefakte holen.
You don't seem super invested in this whole thing, Sitlali.
The Battle of Seven Colors is something I've only ever heard about. I know as much as anyone else in my tribe.
But how? Weren't you alive when it happened?
I wasn't there when it took place, and she never told me about it. That's how.
But Molusan said the two of you were close friends. The battle was legendary. Why wouldn't Huitziling tell you about it?
Close friends? More like arch rivals. Something Montlusan would know if he actually did his research. Did you see the graffiti outside my house? That's not my doing. All students from Huitziling's School of Shamanism must pass an extremely difficult trial before graduation, defeating me in battle. Those graffiti drawings are how they challenge me. Of course, none of them ever succeeded. So, after Huitziling's death, her students had no choice but to modify the requirement. Instead of defeating me, all they have to do now is last long enough. As my rival, Huitziling only had one achievement that surpassed my own, and that was the Battle of Seven Colors. I can only assume she had some kind of secret technique at her disposal. It makes perfect sense that she kept it from me. I'm a fast learner. Telling me about the technique is no different than handing it to me on a silver platter. As if she would give away her one advantage.
Oh, that makes sense.
Anyway, all of that is secondary. Like I said, I'm only here to help you fulfill your duty. Don't misunderstand. This duty is important for my tribe, too. A great shaman should do her part to see it done. Excuse you? I fail to see what housekeeping has to do with my duty as a shaman. Why is it that you're the one whose thoughts are exposed, but I'm still the one suffering? I need to get to the bottom of this.
Wie kommt es, dass deine Gedanken offen liegen und ich diejenige bin, die darunter leidet? Ich muss diese Sache auf den Grund gehen. Alles klar.
Excuse me, great shaman. but we have a situation over here. We could really use your help.
Okay, okay.
Of course the Battle of Seven Colors happened. The woven scroll proves it. Wheat Ceiling used a mysterious color to construct a maze and trap the enemies inside.
Alles klar, Leute. Und damit würde ich sagen, war es das jetzt mal mit der Folge. Wie gesagt, 25 Minuten. Ich weiß, es ist mal doof, da immer hier abzuschneiden, aber anders geht's leider nicht. Wir wollen die Aufnahme jetzt auch nicht so übertrieben lang halten. Deswegen, wir sehen uns hier in der nächsten Folge wieder. Euer Masho. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschaußen.